So hello friends, welcome to Suraj ke classes once again. Today we are going to solve one GPSC assistant electrical paper, and this paper was taken in 2021. So this is going to be a fully solution of the paper, and let me tell you that we are going to focus on first technical part. So there are 200 numbers of questions in this paper, and we have planned to split this into 8 numbers of videos because these questions are numerical type, so it will take time to solve and to explain you. That is why I have decided to split it into 8 different parts where we will discuss 25 numbers of questions in a single video. So in today's video, from question number 101 to 125, you will see, and we will solve these questions in next video. After this 25 questions, in next video again the next 25, and sequentially we will solve all those 200 numbers of questions. So without wasting much time, I think we should start. So the question paper is right in front of your screen, and the question number 1, as you can see, the resistance of 100-meter conductor is having 0.1 mm square cross sectional area is R1, and keeping the same volume, if the length of the conductor is increased 3 times, then how many times would you expect its resistance to increase? So this is the question. Now the answer is also indicated here 9, but how this answer is coming, let us obtain this. So the resistance of conductor, that is right, formula is rho L upon A. If the length of the conductor is increased to 3 times, that is 3L, then A, the area would also be increased to, would reduce to A by 3. Now putting all this value in this equation, rho into 3L upon, right, A is equal to A by 3. So this will ultimately become rho L upon A into 9. So now you can see the answer is 9 only. So this is how the answer is coming. This is your value of R only. So this will becoming 9R. I hope this clears out your explanation for this question. And the next question is, what is the unit of temperature coefficient of resistance for metal? So now let's solve this question also. Question number 102. Now for temperature coefficient, the formula is R is equal to R reference 1 plus alpha T minus T reference. Now let's convert this entire formula into unit. R unit is ohms, R reference is ohms, 1 plus alpha is our temperature coefficient. Now degree centigrade minus degree centigrade. So this is what our formula is, and now the temperature coefficient alpha, that value we want to obtain, then this alpha value would become this ohms, cutting down ohm. Okay, so now you will see this will become alpha is 1 upon degree centigrade, right? So this is degree centigrade inverse. So this is the unit of alpha, the temperature coefficient. This is how we are obtaining it, and the same is given into this answer, that is degree centigrade inverse, right? Question number 103. The two resistances of equal values have been connected in series. When the series combination is connected across this supply of V1, it consumes the power of order 100 watts. Thereafter, these two resistances are connected in parallel across the supply V1. Then how much power is consumed in this parallel combination? Okay, so now let's solve this question also. See, the values we need to see here, that is the supply voltage V1. Okay, it is consuming when it is in series connected, and power is consuming 100 volt. Thereafter the two series are connected in parallel with the same supply voltage of V1. then the parallel combination power consumption they are asking us. The answer is 400 volts, but how this answer is going to is obtained, that we will see in this explanation. See, one thing that is common, that is the value of V, that is common, right? So for the power P1, that is 100 volt, that is V square upon R. The power consumed is 100 and V square upon, when these are two resistances are connected in series, right? So this is what written, then the two equal resistances are connected in series. So for the series connection, the R equivalent would be R1 plus R2, and for both the same value this will be 2R. So now this is becoming 2R because R equivalent will be 2R. So now for the value of V square, that is equals to that equals to 200R, right? So V square is 200R. Now how we use this V square in the value of P2? You see here that P2 is V square upon R only, okay? But for the P2, R equivalent value for P2, R equivalent would be R1 into R2 upon R1 plus R2. So for the same value of R, that is 2R upon R square. So this R and R cancelled out, 2 upon R, this is the value of R equivalent, okay? So R equivalent will be 2 upon R, okay? So this will be V square into R upon 2. So now see for P2, that is what we want to find out. Now V square is already 200R, okay? V square is already 200. Sorry, I think we are mistaken here. I am extremely sorry for this. This value is not 2R, it is actually reverse. This R1 into R2 for the same value, that is R square, R1 plus R2, that is 2R. Now this is cancelled out and this will be R by 2. Now this will be R by 2, so this will be R, this will be 2. So now for the V square, this will be again, let me again tell you this V square will be, this is already from the first equation, V square is 200R, and for the P2, that is V square upon R, and this value is R by 2, so 2V square upon R, so 2 into 200R upon R, okay? So this is also going to be cancelled out. So now the value will be 400, the P2. So the power that is obtained for the same value of resistance connected in parallel will be 400 watts, okay? So this is what the answer is, 400 watts. Now next question, if 115 volt is applied across a rated 230 volt 60 watt bulb, how much power does it consume? Okay, so this is a very simple question. 115 volt is applied to 230 volt 60 watt bulb, okay? Then how much power does it consume? So for solving this, first we need to write down the data that is available to us. The power of the bulb is 60 watts and the voltage rating is 230 volt, and what we are going to apply, we are applying. Now for solving this, first we need to have the value of resistance for this 60 watt 230 volt 60 watts 230 volt bulb. So finding out the resistance for this, for 60 volt, P is equal to V square, that is 230 whole square upon R. So now the value of R is becoming 230 whole square upon P, that is 60. So we are having the value of R. Now For the 115 volt, when we are applying, that is V square upon R, that is 115 into 115, that is V square. Okay, R value that we already have 230 into 230 upon 60. So now this equation is becoming 115 into 60 upon 230 into 230. So this is again cancelled out. So this is becoming 4 and this is 60 by 4. And now the 60 by 4, that is 15 watts. So the value of P, that will be 15. So this is what our answer is, and I think that is the same answer is given here, that is 15 watts. The power consumed for the 60 watt bulb when it connected to half of its supply, that is 115 volts, the power becomes 4 times reduced. Okay, the derivative of parabolic function becomes a ramp function. Do you want me to solve this? Okay, let's solve this. The derivative of parabolic function becomes, see, the f of x value, that is ax square plus bx plus c. Now when we are finding out derivative of this, 2ax plus b. Now this is the linear equation. See, this is the linear equation with linear property. Okay, so that is why the derivative of parabolic function becoming is linear, that is ramp function, right? The next question is, a 5 ohm resistance has been connected across the supply. Thereafter one unknown resistance R is connected in parallel with that 5 ohm resistance. Due to this, the current drawn from the supply gets doubled. What is the value of unknown resistance R? So very tricky question. Again, let us solve this. What is happening? We are keeping the supply voltage constant for both of these values of resistance. One resistance is 5 ohms and second one is R only. Okay, and this is the supply voltage V, and this is what the current value I is flowing. So for this value of resistance and for this, if we are keeping the V is equal to V dash, the voltage that is flowing, that is across this resistance, and the voltage across this resistance, both are same. Agree? So for the value of V, that is IR only, right? Because I is flowing with that. And when we are supplying resistance R with that, then that is 2I again, because the current is getting doubled now. 2I into R. Okay. So now the current, when current is getting doubled, that time you see these both resistance are connected in parallel. This connection is parallel and the current is flowing, that is 2I. Okay, when the current is flowing 2I, that time this resistance is connected, and when this one is not connected, that time current is flowing I only. So for that equation I have used IR, and for the second equation that I have used the V dash, and for that equation, that is 2I into R dash. R dash, now we will obtain the value of R dash is equal to 5 into R, the equivalent resistance, then 5 plus R. Okay, that is the value of equivalent resistance. Now let's solve this equation. This equation R, I think this is known to us. Okay, this is known to us, that is 5 into I. Okay, because R is 5 only. 2I into 5 plus R, sorry, 5 into R upon 5 plus R. I and I getting cancelled out. Okay, then 5 plus R into 5, this 5 is also getting cancelled out in next step. Okay, is equal to 5R, right? 5 and 5 getting cancelled out. Now for finding out the value of resistance, here this 2 is also here. Okay, this is actually not 5R, this is 10R. Okay, so this 5 is 5 plus R is equal to 2R. Now when we are solving this, then we will find the value that is equal to 5 only. So I hope this is clear now, that how this 5 is obtained. So for the same voltage that is applied across the equivalent or parallel resistance, that is additional, and for the same voltage applied for the single resistor, when we are equalizing the both, that time by solving the equation we can find out the value, that is 5 ohms. Now question number 107. If two bulbs of 100 watt and 60 watt are rated at 230 volt connected in series, at this series combination connected across 230 volt of supply, which of the following given statement is correct? Now this is what the equation, or this is what the question of brightness, that 2 bulbs of 160 watt connected to 230 volt of supply, okay, in series, and the series combination is connected across 230 volt of supply. Okay, so see what is given here. There are 2 bulbs. See, there are 2 bulbs, 60 watts and 100 watts. Now we need to find out the resistance of these both, and both bulbs are of 230 volt. So finding out the resistance, let's see, the resistance is R1 here, this is the bulb number 2, the resistance R2. For the bulb number 1, R1 resistance, that we can obtain P is equal to V square R, P is equal to V square upon R, then R is equal to what? V square upon P. So R is equal to V square upon P, then 230 whole square upon P, that is 60. For R2 value, that is V square upon P, 230 whole square upon 100. So from this both of these equation, I think it is very clear to you that value of R1 will be greater than R2. So for this same bulb connected in series, the 60 watt bulb will be more brighter, because do you know, I think know that the losses are proportional to I square R. Okay, then R is, the losses are directly proportional to R. So the bulb which is having a higher resistance will offer more brightness. So this is how you can identify which bulb will be more brighter. So 60 watt bulb will offer more brightness compared to 100 watt bulb, because it has more, or it has higher resistance than that of the 100 watt of bulb. Now question number 108. In a transformer, the full load copper loss is of order of 24 watt. What will be the value of copper loss at half load? Okay, so this is again very simple question. In a transformer, full load copper loss is 24 watt. Full load copper loss 24 watt. I think you all know the I square R is the copper loss, and it is given 24 watt. And for the half load, I is equal to I by 2, then I square by 4 R. Okay, for this copper loss, if you reduce the full load, if you go from full load to half load, then the copper loss would be, see, I square R by 4. It will reduce by 4 times. So 24 upon 4, it will become 6 watts only. So the new value of the I square R is 6 watts only. Okay, so I hope it is clear now. The answer is also, I think, that this is 6 watts only. Okay, The ramp function can be obtained from unit impulse at t equal to 0 by integrating the unit impulse functions twice. Do you want me to solve this? Okay, let impulse function delta t into dt, that is becoming ut, that is step function. And if you are again integrating this step function, then you will receive this RT. Okay, that is ramp. So this is how you can say, the ramp function is obtained from unit impulse function by integrating it twice. We are 2 times integrating. Okay, so now next question. A power MOSFET has 3 terminals, namely this drain, source and gate. I hope no explanation is needed for this. Next question. The work done bringing 1 coulomb charge from infinite distance point A to known as electrical potential at point A. I think no explanation is for this also. A continuous time system will be bounded input, bounded output, BIBO, stable if all Eigen values are negative. I hope you have solved many questions based on this, and the Eigen values are negative, then only the system is stable. I think no explanation is for this also. In case of RLC series circuit, the value of resistance, inductive reactance, capacitive reactance are of order 10, 20 and 30 ohms. The RLC series circuit draws 5 amps from current supply. What is the amount of active power dissipated from this circuit? So see, I think there is some error in this question. Okay, because why I am saying this, the answer is 250 watts and this can only be achieved, see, when this L and C are equal. I can tell you how. Okay, see, the values provided here, R is equal to 10, XL is equal to 20, XC is equal to 30, and the corrected value should be R is equal to 10, XL is equal to 20, XC is equal to 20. Now see, with the corrected values I am solving this. The value of equivalent impedance, that is R square plus XL minus XC whole square. For the value of XL and XC common, then this will be nullified, then this is 10 square only. Okay, then the value is 10. Now when we are finding out I square Z, this is the value of Z, I square Z, that is the value of, what is this value? That is the active power dissipation, right? The P value, you can say P. Now I square, I value given 5 whole square into Z 10, then this will be 250 watts. So the answer that is given into that, the answer which is correct for this question is, that is 250 watts. Okay, and which is correct answer. But if you go by these values 10, 20 and 30, then I think the answer will be different, and that answer can be around 350 watts, which is not into this options. So the question is incorrect here, and I have shown you how this question can be corrected and what are the values of corrected question, right? The primary and secondary winding induced E1 and E2 EMF, then these EMFs are always in phase with each other. Okay, whether the EMF induced at primary or secondary, both are in phase. In AC welding, as the thickness of the part of the welded increase, the following should increase: the current should increase. In case of periodic function possessing half wave symmetry, which Fourier coefficient is 0? A0 is the Fourier coefficient which is 0, right? In 100 kVA of transformer, the value of full load iron loss and copper loss are order of 900 and 1600. At which kVA rating the transformer offers maximum efficiency? So there is a particular formula for this. When the iron losses are equals to copper losses, then transformer's maximum kVA is the maximum efficiency kVA. See, kVA is equal to the transformer kVA. From this, for the maximum efficiency kVA, there is a formula. The current kVA of the transformer, that is 100 kVA, the given values, the kVA is 100, iron losses given 900 and copper 1600, right? So 100 into under square root of iron losses upon copper losses, that is 1600. So if you solve this, then 100 into 3 upon 4. So when you solve this, it will become 75. Okay. So the maximum efficiency at which the transformer kVA for the maximum efficiency, that is 75 kVA, right? So the correct answer is 75 kVA. In case of 6-pole DC machine, 90 mechanical degrees equals to how many electrical degrees? So 90 is the mechanical degree. There is a single formula and very important formula again. Theta electrical is equal to P by 2 theta mechanical. And here given 6-pole machine, right? 6P value is 6 by 2, theta mechanical given is 90 degree. Then if you solve this, then this will become 270 degree. Then theta electrical will be 270. I hope the answer is same here. The theta electrical is 270 degree. The magnetic flux which does not follow the desired path is known as leakage flux. No explanation is required for this. Full form of IGBT is insulated gate bipolar transistor, right? A periodic waveform possessing possessing half wave symmetry has no even harmonics. Okay. The capacitance of one capacitor is of 0.15 Faraday. 3 such capacitors are connected in series. Find out equivalent capacitance offered by this combination. The answer is 0.05 Faraday. But how we are obtaining this? For the resistance and capacitance, the equivalent value for parallel case is different. It is actually opposite. For series also it is opposite. So the resistance for this value formula for the resistance for a series combination is the formula for the capacitor for the parallel combination. So the equivalent capacitance value for the parallel combination of capacitor 1 upon C is equal to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3. So for all these value, C is common. C1 is equal to C2 is equal to C3 is equal to C, you can say. So this will become 3 upon C. So 1 upon C is equal to C by 3, and we are having the value of C is 0.15 upon 3. So this will become 0.05 Faradays. And this is what our answer is. So for this, the answer is 0.05 Faraday. One of the advantages of jet transformer is convolution operation is transferred into simple multiplication operation. No explanation is required for this. An ideal voltage source should have zero source resistance, and for this you should also remember that for the ideal voltage source should have the zero internal resistance and for the ideal voltmeter should have infinite internal resistance. So these both things are very confusing, and many students do mistake while answering these questions. Okay, so you should always remember, for ideal voltage source the internal resistance will be 0, but for an ideal voltmeter the internal resistance will be infinite. For the ideal current source the internal resistance will be infinite. For the ideal ammeter the internal resistance will be 0, right? So these four things you should always remember. Anytime any question can be asked based on this. Question number 125, the superposition theorem is based on the concept of linearity. So with this question I think we should end this video, and the PDF file for all 101 to 125 questions in solved manner in my personal note, what I have solved, that I will upload on my Telegram channel. Okay, on my Telegram, the link will be provided in description, my Telegram channel link. So you should join that group, and you will find updates related to this exam, related to study material, and related to upcoming exams. So this is a very important group for you. We are also available on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, that you already know. You can, if you are not able to reach us, then you can comment us that, sir, we are not finding out the PDF, or we have some other problem. Anything you can discuss and share with us on Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, on Facebook page. Okay, we are also available on X platform. So anywhere you can reach us, you can join us, and you can make your study more comfortable, more effective, and best of luck for your exams. Thank you so much for watching.